How have you been able to become the largest, most well-known provider in dentistry?
For us, it's important that we build a relationship with the clients. It's not a transactional relationship, it's a long-term relationship. We want to make sure we are their partners, trusted partners.
And what kind of leader do you need to be to keep 125 people motivated working for your company?
The leadership comes from a team of people, trusted people who've grown with the company and understand the values of the company. And our policy is that this body of people makes all the important decisions. It's not just me.
What is success to you?
Success now is getting a good night's rest, waking up in the morning, looking forward to the day, going to bed knowing that I've done the best I can today, getting up tomorrow fresh, looking forward to the day. That's success.
Bharat, one of my favorite people in UK dentistry.
Likewise.
Thank you for making it down. Bharat's the founder of MicroMinder. Can you tell us when it was established?
1984.
1984.
Yeah.
Wow. Some people listening were probably not even born.
Oh, no, absolutely. I know.
So you were 25 years old when you started?
Yeah.
41 years going. And what does MicroMinder do?
We've evolved. We started off as an IT company, looking after the IT infrastructure of dental practices when IT was not as significant a part of the business. Our opinion is that now it is an integral part of the business, of the dental business. But we also have evolved from just IT support into security, into imaging. And we are experimenting with AI, always trying to see what we can bring to the market that will be beneficial to our clients.
Okay.
We use it in-house, we experiment, and when we are sure that it's ready for the market and we've got an angle, we can show the benefit to our clients, that's where we'll go.
Fantastic. And those listening will probably have heard of MicroMinder. And those that are new, what's the introduction? The way I would say is that you're the most established, definitely the most established IT provider in UK with an enormous team and growing. So how much support does a practice receive? Where are your support hubs in the UK?
So in terms of offices, it's in West London.
Okay.
But we have our own field engineers. Unlike any of our competitors, we employ our own engineers throughout the country. So we've got them in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland,
Wow.
England, of course. And the difference being that our clients will see the same engineer over and over again.
Okay.
He will know the site will know him. And that is very important, that consistency.
Yeah.
Competitors use contractors. You see different people coming in. And if they don't know your setup, they could mess it up. Some of the more complex sites.
Yeah.
If a different engineer goes in, they won't know what's going on.
And they're dotted around the country.
Absolutely.
So I remember I had to renew my AA cover, and it was more than RAC. I never go with any, I just want to go the best, really. Because when you have problems, you really want to go the best. And their USP is we've got the most patrols on the road. Is that similar to what you're saying?
Absolutely. And we have a fixed charging policy. So whether you're in Aberdeen, in Dundee, Penzance, or London, an engineer's call out is the same. Because we know that we have engineers who can get to site within a maximum of 3 hours. Typically, it's an hour and a half.
Right. Okay. What inspired me to ask you to come on this podcast was so many people know of your company, but no one knows who's behind that company. And when I've met you, I get this aura of humbleness and the people in your team are so good. And you don't come on podcasts. I've never seen you behind camera. Is that deliberate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Low profile. Ultimately, it's the team. It's not me. I happened to start the company, but it's grown so much. And that's thanks to the people, the team that we have. I like to look at companies and look at the longevity of their team. If they've been there 5, 8, 10, 15 years, it inspires confidence. If they've been there 6 months or 1 year, okay. And we have 20 odd people who've been with the company for 15 years or more.
That says a lot, especially in a place like IT where staff are being poached all the time by headhunters. I would like to talk to you more about that for sure. But going deeper, obviously you run a successful IT company. You say competitors. I don't know of any competitor really. So you've got this space. You've secured this space. But you can't just secure a space in dentistry. Practices don't just trust a company for no reason. You've been doing the same thing for over 40 years. I mean, evolving, but dental IT is still something that you're known for. How have you been able to become the largest, most well-known provider in dentistry?
Consistency. And so, consistency being delivering the same service over and over again so that people can rely on us, on that service. The other thing is that for us, it's important that we build a relationship with the clients. It's not a transactional relationship. It's a long-term relationship. We want to make sure we are their partners, trusted partners in our particular area. And the way we operate our business is the same. You and Digimax are a trusted partner. So it's a partnership. It's not, here's X amount for a website, hand it over, and that's the end of it. No.
Yeah.
So we always try and establish that relationship with the client, that it's a partnership. Come and talk to us if there's a problem. Anything to do with your IT, even if we don't supply your internet connection, for example, let us know. Once you tell us that it's BT or Virgin or whoever, we have it on our record. If there's a problem, we will speak with them. We'll hold the problem. The idea is the dental professional or professionals should be free to get on with what they are meant to be doing, looking after their patients. We should be looking after their IT. They should not have to worry about what happens next, who's going to call me. We make sure that we keep on communicating with them. This is what's happening. You and I know in business, everything doesn't go 100% all the time. There are hiccups. Important thing is, I know I like to be kept informed. The engineer's running late, or he's not going to make it today. Unfortunately, he'll come at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Things go wrong. If I'm informed, kept informed, this is what the issue is, I'm comfortable with that.
How many people do you employ?
120, 125 people.
You employ 125 people?
Yeah.
And what kind of leader do you need to be to keep 125 people motivated, working for your company, to your values?
It's an interesting question. There was a time when I felt I was leading. Now I'm working with a team of people. I'm guiding. The leadership comes from a team of people, trusted people who've grown with the company and understand the values of the company. And our policy is that this body of people makes all the important decisions. It's not just me, because one person can get it wrong. If you have 4 or 5 people, you discuss things, you bounce about ideas, hopefully you come with the optimum decision. But I'm a great believer, you can't sit on your hands. If we have a stalemate where we're divided, should we, shouldn't we, I'll take a decision. Right or wrong, have to take a decision, go with it. Within X number of weeks or months, we'll figure out whether it was right or wrong. Does it need tweaking? Do we stop it altogether? But sitting on my hands, no way. That's not going to happen.
I like that. Some other IT providers have said, look, we can't match MicroMinder's pricing because of economies of scale. But now and again, I'll read on a forum, and you're aware of this, that someone said, I received this quote for a server. It sounds so much. What's happening there? Is it so much, or could it be a misunderstanding?
Could be a misunderstanding. Unfortunately, it's, you know how it is with cars. You buy a BMW or a Mercedes or Ferrari or whatever it may be, and you've got your base model, and then there's the plus, 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 plus. So yeah, you've got a Ferrari, I've got a Ferrari. Mine was £95,000, yours was 125,000. How did you pay 125 when I got it for 95? But you got all the pluses with it.
Yeah.
So same with IT and most of the things, that the server that we specified had all the bells and whistles. because we're thinking ahead that, you know what, if this equipment does not serve the needs for the next 5 years, we're doing something wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what other people do to meet a price point, they'll say, yeah, let's just cut this out. Sure. And what we do say is when people say, oh, we found a quote cheaper than yours, by 20% or 30%, we'll say it's impossible. If you say 3%, I can understand that. Our margins aren't 25%.
Yeah.
So if somebody says we've got it 25% cheaper, there's something wrong. Either they're trying to pull a fast one, or they've been sold or spec'd a much lower spec server. So we're not comparing like with like.
As a business that relies heavily on technology and having Indian roots, I've always tried to save a penny. So over time, I've always gone for sort of slightly cheaper models of Dell and Apple, this, that. And at the end of the day, it ends up costing us more. The amount of times now I just say, give me the best available right now that's going to last me the longest, because the cost of, it's not just the equipment, the time in replacing.
Yeah.
So when I see these posts, I often think it's most likely that you don't understand the value of this.
Yeah. You know what? There have been occasions where somebody has got a cracking deal and we said, you know what?
Brilliant.
This is the right spec for you. There's no way we can match this price. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
And they come back to us and say, okay, we'll buy it from Dell or whoever, HP. We would like you to support us because you know what? You've helped us all the way through. And ultimately, it's the support that we're interested in. The selling of the machine, we call it tin, is, yes, it's good for the revenue, but the margin isn't there.
That's a known fact.
Yeah.
With the margins. Even when, before I used to negotiate with Dell, the movement would be 1 or 2%.
That's right.
So people think, I remember before when we do websites, we would charge £10 for the domain name and the client would say to us, I've seen it for £3-4, but we're only offering it to make their life easier. So sometimes you get a kicking for supplying the hardware.
Yep.
Yeah.
You do. And I feel your pain when somebody says, I can buy for £3 and you're charging 10. As you say, it's
we stopped offering it. We just didn't want the conversation anymore.
Yeah. No, I get it. There is a value to providing a comprehensive service for the people who appreciate.
Yeah.
When I used to sell, talking with a prospective client, when they talk about, oh, this is an expense, my mind's saying, no, you can't sell them what is right for them. If they use the word investment, then you talk to them about what's right. If it's expense, you have to go in cheap. And we've been bitten on the backside a few times in the early days because we were not clarifying that, look, these are the two quotes. This is the ideal one for you. And this is the one, if it's budgetary constraint, then you go for this. We'd just give one quote.
Okay.
And then if it was the cheaper one and something went wrong, we'd have to pay up. Right. So now the sales team will speak with prospective clients or clients when they're upgrading and say, this is the ideal one, this is the basic one. And leave the choice to them. Everyone's got to make an informed choice themselves. We can't do it for them.
Sounds sensible. How does a company go from 0 clients 40 years ago to thousands of clients, especially in a competitive market like yours? What's been the route for you? How are you so integrated into UK dentistry?
So we were very fortunate that early on in our journey in dentistry, Software of Excellence was introduced to us when they first came to the UK 30-something years ago. And that was by a mutual client. And we started working with them. And as they grew their market share, we grew our market share. So we have to thank Software of Excellence for helping us get to this level.
And do you rely on that kind of referral now?
Not that much, because their business has also evolved, as you can imagine, that there's more towards the cloud. So the hardware is not that important. Having said that, we say to people who are willing to listen, we have different packages available. So now we've got a new offering which is ideal for people who are migrating to the cloud application of whatever software they're using, where security becomes the significant part of the package. It's all very well having your data, your software in the cloud, and we read every week somebody's big companies have got hacked or they've had a problem, and we know of companies in dental that have had that. And security now is the big thing. One's got to plan for that.
It seems like the natural way to move.
It is, but unfortunately, you hear of people. One of the dental groups, their CFO said, "I would rather pay a ransom than protect all the practices at the highest level." And it was like, "Oh,
wow, that's an invitation."
Yeah, and we all know of a European dental company that paid 2 million euros.
Yeah, I don't know about that story.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
In 2023, I think it was.
Wow.
2 million euros.
So security must have become a big part of your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. And people need to realize whether you have 1,000 patients or 5,000 or 50,000 patients, security and data ultimately with GDPR and so on, that data belongs to you and you have to secure it. Sure. And if it can be proven that you didn't take all the measures, they could throw the book at you.
Yeah. Look, you've been doing this for 40 years. You're clearly passionate about MicroMinder. But today for me is about getting behind the man behind MicroMinder, how you think, because I found that incredibly inspiring. You're obviously a man of consistency. You stick to one thing, which is building the company. That for me is always inspiring. You've got high team retention. So I want the listeners to be able to learn from you that how you've been able to keep your team motivated, how you think. And there's certain moments that stand out to me about you. I remember we were in an exhibition and I was speaking to someone. You politely waited and he said, "Chaz, I want to speak to you." And you said, "We would like to donate." Hope you don't mind me sharing this.
No.
"We would like to donate £1,000 a month to Wells on Wheels." I was like, "Oh, that's really kind." I refused at the time because I said, "Look, we've got enough money. I'll come to you when we need it. You've always supported us."
Yeah.
But that to me said a lot about who you are, because there's so many companies that have come to us and said, "We're going to do this, we're going to do that." It doesn't always happen. Everyone gets busy, but you went out of your way. And I get this sense, but you can tell me, that MicroMinder, I bet your team aren't trained to make the most profit, charge the most, hit sales targets. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a bit more about that?
Sure.
Are you a business that cares about bottom line and profitability a lot? Or what's your value system?
Okay. So years ago, I read "Turnover is vanity, profit is sanity." And I still haven't worked out who actually came up with that saying. But it's important as a business to be profitable. But it's not just profitable to me as the main shareholder or my family, but for the rest of the team. When I started my business life, the only thing I wrote down on a piece of paper is, before I retire, which I'm never going to, that was going to be my daily rest, basically die, I would like to ensure that I'm looking after 200 people, stroke families, looking after them. Yeah, that's the important thing. It's family, it's the people. Without the people, the company is nothing. When I started the company, I was doing everything. And you soon realize you can't grow a company if you don't have the right people. You have to make the business sustainable. To make it sustainable, you need the profits because you have to keep on investing in the business. That's the only way to grow. Unfortunately, too many people take money out of the business too quickly. And we all hit rainy days. And if you don't have enough liquidity, enough funds to protect the business, that's when things go pear-shaped. And this was a lesson that my father taught me very early on. Don't take out money from the business unless you need it, because if you take it out, you'll probably squander it on all sorts of things that you don't necessarily need. If it's in the business, you can actually use that, if you're wise, you use it wisely, you can grow the business, you can look after your team. And when COVID hit, we were the only company that gave all our clients a 3 months payment holiday. They did not have to pay for their support and maintenance.
Really?
Yeah. The other services, antivirus software and so on, where we were buying, and those we postponed. So for 3 months, they had to pay nothing because we realized that everyone was struggling. Now we have the reserves to take that 3 months hit.
Did people appreciate that?
Unfortunately, not too many people do.
That's the nature of these things.
Yeah.
Okay. Has your lifestyle changed amassing this level of success?
No, thinking about success has changed. The first few years was money. How much money do we make? How much profit
In the
do we make?
APs, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's not success. Success is making sure people are happy doing what they're doing within the team. Everyone's got a role to play. So they should be happy, they should enjoy what they're doing, and they're delivering consistently.
What is it that you're giving your engineers? Because I know engineers are in demand and you've got such high retention with your team. Like you said, there's 20 people who've been there for the last, 10 plus years, you said?
15 plus.
15 plus years.
Most of them 20 plus, actually.
Yeah. There must be more than wages involved here.
It's caring for them. They know they can come and talk to me if there's anything. Of course, we've got the line managers and so on. There's a small hierarchy.
Yeah.
But they can always speak with me. They know that. And that helps. Second is when we meet up for a Christmas party or on site or whatever it may be. How's your wife and how are the kids? Are you grandparents now? Whatever it may be. Things like
I know those.
Know them personally.
Bharat, I've found when I've played the really invested founder, become really friendly with them, that sometimes it's backfired. 1 in 10 has backfired, and it makes me feel like I shouldn't be so nice, but then I can't help it. It's just how I am. Yeah. So I don't change who I am, but now and again you get disappointed, especially with the level of staff you've got. Have you ever experienced that?
Do you know what? There used to be a time where I'd get disappointed, but I realized, and I have to thank my wife. She's a business coach, a performance coach, and she advises me, helps me a lot. And my day starts off with a 5-minute bite size something or another, and the day ends with a 15-minute something or another. So she brought out the message that why do you get disappointed? It's because you have expectations of XYZ, expectation that he or she should be doing this, and because they didn't do that. If you drop your expectation that they should be delivering what is within the norm of the role, you won't get that disappointment. Yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me of a story. So my uncle is super successful in Dubai. He's passed away now. And he took it upon him to take care of the entire extended family. A bit of an unusual thing, but culturally it's quite normal.
Yeah.
And his wife said, oh, look, such and such didn't call on Eid, despite how much we do for them. And I heard him say that if you start expecting things, you're always going to be unhappy. He said, look at me, I'm happy. So he said, I give without expecting anything in return. I might be paraphrasing. So I've tried to adopt that. And I think that's what you're talking about too.
Yeah. Don't expect. If you expect, you're not giving out of love or from your heart. You're giving with an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
That's not giving.
Yeah. We've all got different definitions of success. So society speaks about success in wealth, financial wealth. For me, and I know for you, it's much deeper than that. So tell me a bit more about your family and your lifestyle and your vision on success and freedom. Like what is success to you?
Success now is getting a good night's rest, waking up in the morning, looking forward to the day, going to bed knowing that I've done the best I can today, getting up tomorrow fresh, looking forward to the day. That's success. It's not money. Yeah. We all need a certain level of money. as Mahatma Gandhi said, there's enough in the world for everyone's needs, but not for everyone's greed.
Yes.
And that's how we should be. There's enough there for our needs. After that, maybe it's an ego thing, maybe it's feeling that there's a lack of something. Again, that starts creating, emotion. And then once one becomes greedy, then that's when you start treating people in a different way. If you treat people with respect, with love, they will do what they're meant to do and what they're capable of doing. If, again, coming back to expectations, if you expect somebody to deliver, I don't know, for an engineer to do 5 call-outs in a day, it's not going to happen unless they kill themselves. If your expectation is normal day 2 call-outs a day, great. They'll do it. Encourage them, nurture them. Offer them something that they can look forward to. That there is a career path from a field engineer to a senior engineer to a team leader. And that's what we've done. These people who've been there 15, 20 years have actually grown within the company.
As a fly on the wall that goes to many dental practices, you've seen every kind of practice. What have you noticed? What guidance would you give to practices based on what you've seen from the successful practices?
Successful practices look after the staff. When we have now, I don't get involved on customer services. Last 5 years, I hardly hear, maybe one case in 6 months.
Okay.
But prior to that, when I was getting involved on weekly basis, customer services issues, one of the questions, once it starts getting a little bit sticky, I'll ask the engineer who goes to that particular site, what's the staff turnover like? And if they say it's high every time I go in or every other time, there's a different face, that starts telling me something about the characters behind that.
And I bet you if you ask those founders, those principals, do you look after your staff? They'll say, yeah, we do. So how would you define looking after staff?
It's giving them that attention, showing that you respect them. And let's face it, we as human beings don't realize, we can see faults in others. That same fault in us, we won't be able to see.
Yeah.
Right? And that's for pretty much everyone. And it's useful having somebody there as a mirror. So that mirror reflects, and you're able to see what's going on. Most people, I believe, most people are honest, are reasonably hardworking. So if you treat them right, you'll get the best out of them. It's, as you said, 1 in 10 or 1 in 15 or whatever let you down. I think of it as, unfortunately, they've let themselves down. Because I'm in their lives only for a short period of time. Once they've left the company, they're on their own. That's more important. They've let themselves down without realizing. Hopefully someday they'll realize.
Yeah. It's about their own standards that they set themselves.
Absolutely.
I remember a story we had deployed someone and he was always late. The clock's changed. Okay, so he's got an hour extra in bed. He's still late. Some people have a default low standard for themselves. I remember a coach once said to me, go and ask all of your team members why they work here. So just put it on them and get their first answer. He says, the ones that say we work here for money, yeah, you've got a problem. Because if that's the first thing that comes to mind, obviously everyone's working for an income. Yeah. If that's the first thing that coming to mind, then you've got an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's next for you and MicroMinder?
For me, I'm never going to retire. As long as my health is fine.
Why is that?
I enjoy what I do.
Okay.
I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy the team, working with the team. I enjoy looking at new products and services and thinking about pricing. And that to me, that's the interesting bit. How do you price it right that you get the sales? Okay, we've identified this is something that would be very useful to our clients, to dental practices. Next is we've got to price it right. Otherwise, they're not going to get the benefit. They're not going to buy it. They don't get the benefit. So what is the right price that's going to get us volume, but enough profit in it to make sure that we can reinvest
Yeah.
and grow the team as needed, but also come up with more ways of applying the technology to the practices. So AI is the thing at the moment we're experimenting with. Probably be another year before we've got something that's going to be out there. But for us as a company, we'll be implementing something within the next 6 months.
I know your strategy is buying companies out, and you could have exited now. You could have been bought out for a handsome multiple. And it just takes me back to a Breaking Bad moment where I imagine you saying, I don't get bought out. I'm the one who buys others out. So I see that, right? As part of your strategy, acquiring more companies. You just acquired an imaging company.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, imaging technologies. Again, it's good to see that there's some synergy and we're able to offer something more to our clients. Yeah, just buying random companies, there's no point.
It's going to be a value add.
There's got to be a value add. Absolutely.
I remember, I don't know where I bumped into Kalpesh. Would you say Kalpesh second in command? We see him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He doesn't look it, but he's been with the company 30 plus years.
He's evergreen. Yeah. We should bring him in as well. Many people think Kalpesh owns, even I thought Kalpesh owns MicroMinder. But that's the beauty of the way you've got your team, right? Everyone's acting like a CEO. And I can't remember where it was now. I said, oh, where's Mr. B? And he said very clearly to me, he's with his family. And to me, that was a statement.
Yeah.
So how do you split your time? Like, what role does family play for you?
So I've got a severely disabled daughter. She got brain damage at birth in the hospital. And that changed the life for my wife and myself. Very traumatic the first few years because she is severely disabled. So she's a quadriplegic, so has no control of her limbs. She's cortically blind, so the eye structure is there, but she can't see. She's nil by mouth now for the last 15, 18 years, because when she was swallowing in the earlier years, the movement wasn't right. So food would go down into the lungs and cause infections. So very complex case. So now nil by mouth, all the feed goes through a PEG tube. It's like a milk bottle, 1 liter. It's very balanced. And there's a continuous feed going through. But her health can change from being well to unwell very quickly. I remember I got home 6 weeks ago, something, from a business trip, walked through the front door at 6 p.m. By 8:30 p.m., she was in hospital, needing urgent care. Yeah. So this is what my wife and I have to work around. So one of us has to be with her because there's no way anyone else could figure out that whether she is well or unwell. So I have to keep that in mind.
It must be so difficult for her.
Yeah. But you know what? Our daughter is amazing. She's a gift from God, but she's a fighter. The number of times she's been in hospital and they've given her hours to live, and she bounces back. Now the consultants don't know how she survives. And they say, you know what? You tell us what to do and we'll do it. We can't understand what's going on here. A couple of years ago when she was in hospital, she was admitted in hospital on Friday night. The x-ray of the lungs were completely dark, suggesting severe infection. Sunday, when the consultants came around, said, there's nothing wrong on the x-ray. And then one of the junior doctors came around, said, look, I'm not allowed to show you this, But on her mobile phone, she showed the x-ray from Friday, which was completely dark, the lungs, and Sunday morning, completely clear. And she said, we've never seen anything like this. How do you explain that?
I didn't know it's to that level, Bharat.
Yeah.
Hats off to you, because from one father to the other, Elena, my daughter, she's my world. And every morning when I do my gratitude exercise, I thank God for her health, for our health. What a gift it is, and we take it for granted. I hope ease comes to her, to you all.
Thank you.
Well done, because that's a big role to take.
But she's a fighter, and all we have to do is give her love and look after her, make her comfortable, and she'll carry on. The prognosis at birth was very dire. They said she'd be lucky to see her teens. And she's 34.
You're blessed, and she's blessed to have caring parents.
We're definitely blessed.
So family is a big part of who you are.
Yeah. Was a life-changing moment. And prior to that, my wife and I were living life in the fast lane, parties here, there, everywhere. And it was all about money and so on. After this, the spiritual element came into our lives, and we haven't looked back since then.
And you said your wife is a coach, and she's coaching you.
Yes.
That's impressive. Do you listen to her?
Absolutely.
And how's that going for you?
Amazing. Last 8 years. So she's evolved in her career as well. She used to be a feng shui consultant on the world stage. She's done famous resorts, hotels, banks, a famous hotel in central London, the feng shui of that, involved in a project moving a whole town in Sweden or Norway from a location because it was sinking to a different location, working with the government and so on. So she did that for about 20 odd years. And then she felt that she had done as much as she could there and decided to change and go into becoming a coach and a therapist, so helping people with mental issues or mental challenges. And the good thing is she doesn't discuss her patients with me, the names and so on. So some people from MicroMinder have been to her. That service is available to anyone in total confidence. There've been friends who've approached her, and I only find out when they tell me. Some of my team members have said, oh, by the way, we spoke with your wife. What a charming lady. What a lovely lady. She sorted out. She will never tell me who it is. So she's helped a lot of people, and her approach is first to figure out what is your passion in life, what is your purpose, and trying to remember what the third one is.
She can remind you in the morning.
Yeah, she will.
Do you think everyone should have a coach?
You know what? Having somebody that you trust who can view things objectively. We all get too involved with our own day-to-day things, and it's sometimes, or quite often, very difficult to view it from outside. And if you're able to do that, it actually helps. Sometimes, because the mind plays games, you get too engrossed and you can't see the wood from the proverbial trees. And that's what you need. Somebody who's able to see that, somebody who's got that experience to be able to say, look, step back. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that?
Yeah.
And it's helped me change my management style, how I talk to team members, how I listen to them. Excuse me. In the earlier years, it was like, no, this is what we're going to do. And that's it. Now it's, listen, I know what I think we should be doing. Listen to the rest of the team. And our approach is, if the majority say we should do X, we do it, whether I agree with it or not. I only have a casting vote if we're balanced.
My biggest breakthroughs have been from a small conversation, a short conversation with a coach. You get asked a question, which when you answer it, sometimes it sounds so silly. It's a reflection of, what's going on. You need someone to call you out.
And it brings clarity to your thinking, doesn't it?
Clarity and alignment.
Yeah.
And for me, that's been, all the things that are important to me. I get to do more of those if I can get out of my head. Thank you very much, Bharat. This has been an insightful conversation.
My pleasure.
I appreciate. And remember, this is the first time you've been on a podcast. Hoping you many more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sheth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Successful, Depth, Not Display. If today's conversation inspired you, please do subscribe and share with like-minded people. You can discover more about our guests on successful.dental. I'm Shaz Memon, and I'm passionate about helping practices rank organically on Google to attract high-intent patients. At Digimax, we use 20 years of proven SEO strategy rooted in patient psychology to make that happen. We're also known for our patient conversion machine websites, not just beautiful, but engineered to turn more visitors into patients, using everything we've learned over 2 decades. I'd also love to introduce you to Dental Bio. With Dental Bio, you can build your personal brand by sharing where you work, write blogs and articles, showcase your reviews, add links, your transformations, and more. Everything you need to build your personal LinkedIn Bio website all in one place. Get started for free. Just visit dental.bio. And if you'd like to support my charity powered by the incredible UK dental community, visit wellsonwheels.co.uk or search No Water Land on Prime Video or Apple TV to watch the documentary. I'm Shaz Memon. Until next time, remember, success isn't just a result, it's a feeling. It's fulfillment, contribution, growth, connection, and being true to yourself. Real success is lived from the inside out. For me, it's about depth, not display. Thank you.